Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show.
Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters Money, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at Adam Torres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Matt Gilbert on the line, and he's co-founder and principal over at Gilbert and Pardue Transaction Advisors, also known as GAP. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey, Adam, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh man, Matt. So this is we got quite a topic on our hands today. So selling without regrets requires alignment with the right transaction advisor. I'm really interested to get your take on what exactly the right transaction advisor looks like, because we hear a lot of different things out there. Some people, it's 100% focused on like what's the fee, what's the setup there, and then other people are like, there's other ways to look at this. So your vantage point day in and day out in doing this work, I'm really interested to bring that to my audience. And maybe though, just to get us, I guess, kicked off, for context, tell us a little bit more about GAP and the company overall.
Yeah, so I have a partner, Gilbert Pardue, and I have been business owners for 29 years. We've founded and built several businesses that grew quite large, hundreds of employees. Each one of those, we made some acquisitions to grow, and in the end, we ended up selling two of them to public companies, one to a private equity firm, one to a competitor. And so, we've been at every seat at the table as far as a buyer, a seller, a financier, having our own network on the line. And a few years ago, we started getting a lot of attention from other business owners saying, hey, help me do this. You guys have done it a lot. Walk me through this. And we realized there was a missing element there in the M&A advisory space, where most advisors had never operated a business before. Most advisors come out of banking or straight out of school or out of insurance. And so, we felt like that we had a really unique perspective on this because we had been business owners and operators our entire lives, and this is really kind of a second career for us. So if you look at the lower middle market where we transact most, that's business with revenue up to about $75 million. The national statistics are just hideous for successfully selling a company to a third-party buyer. And when I say hideous, less than 20% success rate nationally. And so we felt like, we could come in here with a different perspective. We actually put together a process that looks different than everybody else in the space. And, when you fast forward to today and the success our company has had, we have about a 94% success rate. So we're crushing it and we're proud of it.
Wow, it's an amazing success rate. And I guess just to piggyback on that, so what do you think is going to be like one of the big concerns or some of the big concerns that somebody should really consider before they maybe are thinking about like exiting? Like, what are those main things? And I know, by the way, I know for every business it's going to be different. So and depending on where they're at, depending on the size of it, depending on what they're doing. But what are some of those major concerns that you think somebody should be thinking about?
Yeah, the truth is I deal with business owners every day who want to talk about what's the process, what should I be interested in, how should I look at this. and they have a very hard time putting themselves in the buyer's shoes, right? So if you can turn the scales a little bit and look at your business from a buyer's perspective, right? Where are the risks? Where are the bottlenecks? If you've got inventory, how old is it? How fast does it turn? How many dollars are tied up there? If you've got HR, and lots of employees, are you in compliance? Do you have issues? And so really, the things that most business owners have gotten comfortable with, and they really don't see the flaws in their business or the weaknesses in their business or the risk in their business, a buyer and their lender are just going to highlight those things. And so business owners have a really difficult time. They'll justify results. They'll give you reasons why. Some people call them excuses why things are a certain way. And buyers just don't buy into that narrative. Everything has to be proven. And so if a business owner can turn and look at each component of their business from a buyer's perspective, would I come in and write the check that I want to receive for this? Probably not. Okay, how can we fix it and make it to where, I would write that check for this? Well, if you would write that check, then somebody else will too.
Oh man, that's a great way to look at it, to put you in their shoes. Like, would I write a check for this? I love the way you said that. So let's talk about like fee schedules and what somebody should think about when. And I'm not saying give your exact fee schedule this, but just for people that are out there and thinking about like what they should be focusing most about when they're thinking about a transaction advisor and like what matters most. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a hot topic in our space. We're just like every other industry. There's discount brokers, there's internet brokers, you can get a Rolls Royce or you can get a go-kart when you go looking for a broker and talking about fees. And honestly, in most business owners' situations, this is going to be the largest transaction of their life. This is going to be the last great transaction of their life. This is certainly the culmination of years and years worth of work. And so, I challenge the wisdom of approaching a monumental event like that from a fee standpoint. I don't see it. I don't get it. A lot of business owners get in the way of themselves because that's what their starting point. And I think the real starting point for the people that are most happy with their transaction and that are most successful in the end of the transaction are the people that go out seeking for alignment with their transaction advisor, right? Can they find an advisor who understands their business, who can take the goals that they have for the business on as the team's goals, and then who has a track record of achieving that? They have the team in place, they have the tools in place. A lot of times, data rooms and valuations and things like that come into play. And so really seeking alignment with your team. There's an attorney, there's a CPA, there's a transaction advisor. All these people exist to help you achieve your goal. And if you approach every one of them from how cheap can I get you, well, you're not going to get the best result. And that's just common sense. But I can't tell you that probably 70% of the business owners that we talk to approach the narrative from that standpoint.
Oh, wow. That, it makes a lot of sense. So if you are looking at different firms and different things like that, so, okay, that's the staff part. What should they be looking at when it comes to just the firm overall? Like the firm, like transactions fast, and where I'm going with that is it, and this is just for my knowledge, like is it like based off of industry? Is it based off of size of company the firm does transaction with? Like, give me a little bit like behind that end. Is there a generalist? Like, how does that part of it work?
Yeah, absolutely. There's something for everybody, and you can certainly find an industry specialist. That's not necessarily the greatest path. A lot of times they have a very narrow view, and if you find a generalist who really gets your company and finds passion behind your project, a lot of times you'll get somebody who puts in a better effort for you. And so, looking for a firm, though, I do have some strong opinions. I don't think you should, quote unquote, list your business. If you want confidentiality, if you don't want your employees or your vendors or your customers or people around town finding out that you're trying to sell your company, if that would be detrimental to you, if they found out that you were thinking about that, then, you probably want to play your cards really close to your vest. Make sure you're dealing with somebody. A lot of M&A firms will talk about your deal openly. And most business owners I found cringe at that. So somebody who's going to start with a confidentiality agreement, somebody who's going to listen to what you want and then articulate a plan that says, hey, we can help you achieve your goals if we work together to do this. What you'll find is most brokers in this space will come in and they'll listen to you and then they'll tell you how your exit needs to fit in their box, right? And how it's good for them. And you can pick up on those clues in their pronouns and the way they position things, certainly their paperwork and their questionnaires. But it's striking to me how many business owners really don't shop around to find somebody that they can align very well with. In our firm, for instance, we have a CPA and a financial staff, right? We have a marketing team. We have research analysts. We have deal team leaders who have actually built and sold the businesses and gone through the process that we're looking to take our client through. And we surround a business owner with a team of people. We don't just assign them the individual that signed them up. And so that makes a huge difference in the qualifications and the experience of the team. And then the other thing I will say is volume. I'm in the Houston market today, and some of the brokers here have a 40 clients to one broker ratio. So if you think about that, how can one broker really know 40 people and their goals and their business intimately? And it just is a numbers game to them. To flip that over, we're a boutique firm. We have 11 people and 7 clients. And we're going to eat just fine this year. But we take those 7 clients all the way to the finish line. We achieve their goals. And so none of them are expendable. And so, there's a transaction advisor out there for every appetite. And I would say just shop around, interview the team, look at resumes, talk about transactions, interview past clients. And you would think naturally that people who have done very well in business would do that research, but they just don't. And it baffles me.
I got it, and I like it, and I love that you say there's somebody out there for everybody. And I know that there's some people listening right now that are like, man, I like Matt. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to his team. And that's one of the reasons why we brought you on the show, because we like you. So that being said, Matt, if somebody is listening to this right now and they want to learn more about GAP and they want to, talk to you and your team, I mean, what's the best way for them to reach out and to get some questions answered?
Yeah, we have a pretty good website. It's www.gap-advisors.com. I'm sure that'll be in your show notes. They can certainly reach out to me directly if you want to put my email and even my cell phone in their show notes. We're here to help. Our whole platform is about educating business owners on how to do this well, how to do it without regrets, what their options are. Even if you have a buyer of your business approach you, the deal structure may not be right. And so there's just a myriad of things to talk about. And we've built our entire business on educating business owners. And we think a well-educated business owner will make a good choice for themselves. And very often that choice is us. And so our whole platform is blogs and podcasts and white papers and things like that to help people just understand how this works.
Man, I love it. So Great stuff, Matt. Well, I just want to say really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing more about your background and all the great work that you're doing over at Gap. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you learned a lot. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We definitely want you to come back and be a return listener and visitor. And Matt, thanks again for coming on the show. It has been a pleasure.
Hey, man, thank you. Y'all have a great day.